It was my idea, so if it works out well, I will take credit. And if it's a disaster, then we're going to blame somebody else. Here's what I'm going to make 3 statements, which I acknowledge all of them are ridiculously premature. To say this now after 2 weeks is ridiculously premature, but we're going to first guess it. We're going to be on record so that if indeed these things do come true, we will have been the first to say it. So Jeff Saturday.
Yeah.
If I were to say when this season is over, we're going to say Daniel Jones is the next Baker Mayfield, or use any other example you want, Sam Darnold, guys who got kicked to the curb in one or more places and then wound up finding themselves with real good careers being rejuvenated. Is Danny Dimes the next in that line?
Absolutely.
Know where you're going.
Absolutely. He got a great tight end. He's got great receivers, a great offensive line, great running back. How can you not succeed? And Steichen's calling these plays. They have not punted, Greeny.
Yes.
Absolutely. He is well on his way to being the Baker Mayfield or a litany of other quarterbacks who have resurged at a new team.
100% agree. I grabbed this when it was a penny stock.
Yeah.
100% agree. I broke a sweat in the studio last week running around because my man Danny Dimes came through like I told you he would.
Can you imagine if Saquon Barkley leaves the Giants and goes and wins the Super Bowl, and now Danny Dimes winds up being a great player? Holy smokes.
It could work. I mean, this is a lot like that Giants situation in 22, right, where Saquon was having a big year. Jonathan Taylor looks fantastic.
Yes.
Like Shane Steichen is doing what he needs to do to help out Daniel Jones.
And Daniel Jones is balling. It's not like he's there and we all expect he's going to be the guy to just get him completions and run the offense the right way. He is attacking and playing great ball.
I do have to say, if we go back a year to this particular week, the New Orleans Saints offense was the hottest story.
I'm tired of hearing that. I'm tired of hearing it.
That's why we're calling it.
They all got fired.
That's why we're calling it first guess. I mean, we'll just have to wait and see. We're on record as we're guessing right. See?
Can we do a new feature?
Somebody needs
I would
to be
like
devil's
a
advocate.
new feature called Wet Blanket.
Yeah.
And then we come on and we get happy and Graziano comes in Wet
For the
Blanket.
record, the Colts are the first team in history, in the Super Bowl era, not to punt in their first 2 games.
There
of
we
the season.
go.
All right, J-Mac, next one. When the season is over, again, first guess. Will we be saying the Vikings made a mistake letting Sam Darnold go?
Roz, this for you. Absolutely. We're saying yes right now in this moment. When you look at it, J.J. McCarthy missed 17 games last year. Already 2 games in. 1 good quarter of football, 7 that he has struggled in. Now he's going to miss an extended period of time. They are missing Sam Darnold. Did you see what he did this past week to that Pittsburgh?
Why is Dan looking at him like that?
Your brother must have been here last week because a guy who looks just like you sat in that seat and said, if I'm the Vikings, we got a guy.
That's why last week he didn't know how to get around the building. Somebody had to help him get there.
That must have been it. I figured it out.
It is, but there were 2 separate pieces to this question. One of them is what J.J. McCarthy does and doesn't turn out to be. The other is Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, he looked pretty good against the Steelers the other day. And
pretty good.
Better than pretty good.
Getting the ball out.
Getting the ball out, putting the ball where it needs to be. The Seahawks look like a real deal with Darnold leading them. Absolutely. McCarthy, to J-Mac's point, 7 bad, 1 good, and now you're going to miss a month like that. Availability is the greatest ability when you're playing. We got to get on the field.
I think the Sam Darnold point that you make is interesting because he does look good now, but I think that the Vikings don't end up regretting it because they moved on from him. It felt like they were going to lock him up. They moved on from him because of the way the season ended. So, unless they believe that was wrong, I don't think that they're going to
And they moved on from Danny Dimes.
Let's see how the season turns out. All right, let's get to the biggest one.
Rodgers.
And this one really feels like it's trending this way. Again, first guess. Graziano, when the season ends, will we say Micah Parsons was this year's Saquon Barkley?
Yeah. I mean, I think this is a team that was ready to be great and added a piece that could take it over the top. That's what the Eagles did last year when they got Saquon Barkley. And absolutely, I mean, I think this Packers team was good enough to contend for the Super Bowl anyway. Right. They had Micah Parsons. Look what it has unlocked for them on defense. Unbelievable. And the offense is able to play. Remember, Orlovsky was like, the offense is going to be able to be real aggressive now. They are. I just think it's, a huge difference.
There's both sides of it, because there's that. There's him being the missing piece that puts a team over the top. That's what Barkley was. There's also the regret. Right? There was also the super high-profile owner on Hard Knocks saying, I'm not going to sleep well if he winds up there.
Yeah.
And we're going to have a camera on Jerry Jones every single week. And if this team is 15-2 and makes a run all the way to the Super Bowl, we're going to have a lot of those same conversations.
Just get more and more pale every week. Just watching. I mean, it's painful to watch. If you're the Cowboys and you give up what you just gave up to Russell Wilson and the Giants, and you can get no pressure on the QB. I know Dan thinks they're going to make the playoffs anyway because their offense is going to be that good. You hope and pray if you're Jerry Jones. And by the way, can I just say something about this segment? I'm not a fan already. We all three just contributed to Greeny and propping him up. And he just called us irrelevant before we even started. Said basically, these players don't matter. There's one guy on every team that matters.
Even if you snap him the ball.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not what I said. The supporting cast is critical, but the lead, the star, is the one who matters. They are the ones who matter. But Micah Parsons is one of the rare examples of others who matter. And so let's talk about his former team, okay? The Cowboys and Packers play each other in 2 weeks, by the way. The Cowboys defense, in a word, stinks. They are 27th this year in points allowed, 30th in yards allowed. They just gave up Russell Wilson's highest career passing game of his career, 422 air yards. When you take the way they calculate these things, it was a lot more than that. Obviously, Graziano, you were there to see it live and in person, covering the game for us. The Russell Wilson side of it was fun. The Cowboys' defensive side, for them, not so much fun.
No, they are struggling on that side of the ball. They're shorthanded in the secondary. Some of those guys will come back, and the pass rush has been a problem. You saw Jerry told us after the game in his post-game scrum that they signed Jadeveon Clowney. So I think that'll obviously be a helper. At this point, he's maybe not what he was, but still a good player that will help them up front. So yeah, they got to get some things tightened up. I think a lot of their hopes rest on the idea that some of these cornerbacks are going to come back healthy. Marshawn Nealon, the linebacker, come back healthy. They believe that'll be
these two can tell you if you can't put a rusher on the quarterback, you can't plaster long enough. If you give a team enough time, every quarterback in the NFL and every receiver will find a way to get over. You better find a way to create rush, whether it's by blitz, whether it's by the front foot. You better figure something out, and Clowney better be the answer. Because right now it's
run.
May I raise my hand?
Yeah.
Those guys were running so open. Malik Neighbors and Wanda, that was not because they didn't have a pass rush.
So
late in that game, those were defensive lapses or whatever the right word for it.
I made this point to you when they had the trade that there are some things some problems that you don't see because the pass rush is so good. Okay. So they had 8 20-plus yard passing plays in this game. That was the most in the league last week.
Right.
And you know, 1 or 2 of those plays, Micah Parsons would have been in the backfield giving them some pressure. The problem was, Russell Wilson, so it wouldn't make the defense a top of the league defense, but they wouldn't be this bad. Russell wouldn't be sitting in the pocket at least. He'd be flushed to one side or another. Them not getting any pressure is the issue. Of course, you might want to cover the guy.
That was my...
covered him. In all these clips, they're covering him.
Not all of them. They had some clips out there where literally you're looking at a corner and a safety, and one of them looks like they're trying to get out of the screen so they don't get the blame on the play. They just didn't cover guys at times.
So what is the answer to the question on our screen? Is the Cowboys' defense bad enough to derail the season? I said yesterday, I emerged feeling better about the Cowboys in the game they lost against the Eagles than I did in the game they won against the Giants.
I mean, they held Saquon Barkley to 60 yards in that game. They held the 2 top receivers to 24 combined. They played good defense in the opener.
Right.
They played lousy defense in the second game. So I think the answer to the question is yes, if it doesn't get any better, but teams do get better as the season goes along. They do get healthier. It's not inconceivable to think that we've seen their worst game on.
With a new defensive coordinator, it might take some time to get all that stuff.
Yeah.
Can I just throw a quick question out there? Also, I sit next to Randy Moss on Sundays and watch these games, and he has been screaming and yelling about this. Do we need to put Malik Neighbors in the conversation? With
you prejudice the jury. You think I'm going to disagree with Randy Moss on receiver?
I know, right?
What did Randy say?
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Just say yes.
Yeah.
Randy raves about it.
I remember talking to Brian Dable last summer in training camp, and he said, I tell the quarterbacks, if Malik Neighbors has one-on-one, just throw him the ball. I don't care what the route is, just give him a chance. And you saw what Russell's did.
Listening.
Malik down there somewhere. Go ahead and put it up to the moon.
He's ridiculously good. By the way, one other thing I wanted to show you here. The Cowboys have my new favorite fan of all time.